Pashas Kanievsky. The name alone evokes feelings of Torah royalty, a family synonymous with Torah learning, teaching, and leadership for many decades. Today, the Torah world sets its eyes on 23 Rehov Rashbam in Bnei Barak, home to the Gadol Hador, Sar HaTorah, Rav Chaim Kanievsky Shlita. What you are about to experience is a unique glimpse into this bastion of Torah leadership, a compilation of untold stories, rare images and videos, an unprecedented request from Rav Chaim himself, a unique glimpse into greatness. Rav Shmaryahu Yosef Chaim Kanievsky was born on 15 Teves, January 8, 1928, a son of the Stipler Goin, R Yaakov Yisroel Kanievsky, and Rebbetzin Miriam Karelitz, sister of the Chazon Ish, Rav Avram Yeshayahu Karelitz.
Hat gelernt die Talmud Torah im Merkaz hat das geheißen. Das war der einzige Talmud Torah im Nebrak. Später Kitte Zayin, wir gehen die Kitte Wort mit gendig, dass wir gehen die Versieren lernen. Das ist unsere Yeshiva. Dort hat gelernt 5 Jahre. Die 5. Jahre gewinnt der Magitschir Bechlüde Lefkovitsch. Gewinnt nach Chossen. Als Chossen ist gekommen sein Magitschir. Gewinnt Aidi bei Roshive. Der Roshive hat geheißen, aber warum Mitzvah Gershanowitz. Gewinnt der Roshive. Und hat genommen für Chossen und genommen in Bechlüde und mit dem genommen als Magitschir. Gewinnt am Magitschir in die Versieren. Das Teil gewinnt nach Roshive in bis Yosef. In Bnei Barak, aber eigentlich die Yeshivas Beis Matisio, das geht mit Yosef. Und ein Mann hat gelernt bei seiner Tate. Seine Tate hat ihm gesagt, will als Jevome soll lernen bei ihm. Also hat mir gesagt. Gelernt dort und später ist Arriba kann Lomje. Lomje in Pesach Tikve, dort haben alle gelernt dort. Shmaryahu hat gelernt dort. alle גדולי לאילום, כמעט die einzige Yeshiva, חוץ von Yeshiva, das war כמעט die einzige Yeshiva. Und dort hat gelernt, bis die Chassen, hat Chassen gehabt bei 24 Jahren. Und schön dort ist es gewesen, ein Masmida gewesen, ein Bokia gewesen.
On 7 Kislev, December 6, 1951, Rav Chaim married Batsheva Elyashiv, daughter of Rav Yosef Shalom Elyashiv. Batsheva hailed from a dynasty of Torah greatness that began with Rav Shlomo Elyashiv, the Leshem, and she was a granddaughter of Rav Aryeh Levin, the Tzaddik of Yerushalayim. After their wedding, Rav Chaim and Rebbetzin Batsheva first resided in Petach Tikva, and then settled in Bnei Barak. For the last 6 decades, they lived in a 2.5-bedroom apartment at 23 Rehov Rashbam, where the 8 Kanievsky children were raised.
Sein jeder Ayom gewinnt allemal vielleicht auf die Wasiken, das ist doch Pashas. Ich meine, als Single hat schon aufgestanden Wasiken. Hat doch gewohnt bei Chazon Ish. Sie haben gewohnt mit Chazon Ish zusammen, in ein Haus. Chazon Ish hat ein Minion Wasiken, aber ich habe von den Chassen und das ist sicher, vielleicht da waren Wasiken. Der einzige Mal, was hat die gesamte Wasiken gewinnt, wenn gewinnt auf, Aleichem, was mit da nicht da waren, da warten, Schnee Yomim, sie nichts das ein Kekulet, weil muss da waren noch Wasiken. Aber sie waren die einzige Mal.
כל הש"ס.
אומרים, הרב אומר שחוץ מההצלחה בכסף, גם את כל הש"ס, שתדע. כל התורה כולה.
היה לו ממחיך אותבי.
Der Tate vielleicht käme nicht sagen, kein Schuhen, בכלל. Weil sein Tate hat ihm gesagt, dass ich käme nicht sagen, kein Schuhen. Hat ihm schon Matzia gewinnt, ein paar Mal sagen, Aschir, sein Rosh Koile, sein Tate hat ihm gesagt, du, nicht kein Rosh Koile, nicht kein Rosh Yeshiva, gar nicht. Einmal, was ich vielleicht sagen, Aschir ist, wenn sein Tate ist weg, vielleicht sagen Aschir in Yerushalmi, Leilu nishmas sein Tate, ich werde Chabure von 5 Wochen im Geleit, was gelernt mit dem Yerushalmi, das ist der einzige Aschir. In Mozoi Shabbos, vielleicht sagen Aschir in Yerushalmi, der erste Jahr, noch die Ptire auf sein Tate, war ein größerer Oilom, in Sargendik, der Jahr noch die Ptire, der geendigt dem Schir, die Schmamschir gewinnen mehr. Was mir gedenken als Kinder ist, erstens der Kescher, was sie gewinnen, vom Taten zu seinen Eltern, der Kibudav war ihm, was sie gewinnen, sei Moiroav und sei Kibudav, die gewinnen Adobo, Shaloi benimmt. Das ist unser Argosche alle Jungen, als Kinder. Also was mir macht keine Sache nicht an dem Seiden. Der Seide, der Ballerboss vom Stub, was sagt, und was sagt nicht, geht man ihm fragen. Der Tate vielleicht gehen die Orten jeden Tag in der Früh. Jeden Tag in der Früh vielleicht der Chaim besuchen seine Tate und seine Mama. Shabbos vielleicht alleine mit dem Chavuse, Medrash, jeden Shabbos bis die letzte Shabbos Mamisch. Also das Zeitler ist nicht die letzte Shabbos, was er weg, nur der letzte Shabbos war er krank. Der letzte Medrash, was haben gelernt, gewinnt Koshe, Silukum, Shel Tzadikim, Kisreifas, Beisol, Ekeinu. Das ist die letzte Medrash, was haben gelernt. Das ist der Kescher zwischen sie. Der Kescher, die Tate mit den Kindern, gewinnt hat gelernt mit unserer Sache. Vielleicht feiern jede Woche, vielleicht auf Shabbos, vielleicht feiern die Kinder, aber sie haben gelernt. Jede Woche, ich will ja, wo in Nonne wird das gewinnt Chumisch, später das gewinnt Gemorre, an Rashi, später mit Rashi, mit Tisbis. Und mehr vielleicht gehen einmal spazieren mit uns, vielleicht erzählen Meises, und ich bin am Sape, wo ich von Niflo bei Yosef. Vielleicht erzählen Meises noch mit Roshim, versteht sich. Aber vielleicht erzählen am Meise ein Roblegen, am Meise von einem Medrash oder von einer Gemorre. Die Kinder haben gehalischt, Tzeh noch einmal die Meise. Vielleicht machen erzählen am Meise, vielleicht sagen Efscher hat man Ufern da Efscher. Manche sagen das zweite Mal. Und dann sehen die Kinder haben sich gedacht, beten noch einmal und noch einmal. Wir gewinnen am Sape und nicht Leute gewinnen.
איזה ספר מוסר כדאי שילמדו בישיבה? בנימין?
Eins ist eine Sache, Jungen, was macht die Kunst so ist, jede Nacht. Vielleicht das machen die jüngeren Jungen so nicht, ich habe nicht gewusst von dem. Es kann sein ja, kann sein nicht, wir sind geschlafen die Zeit. Kolpani von Musik weiß mir. Vielleicht aufstehen Musik, da bin ich nach Kommune, Sommer, Winter. Später vielleicht sagen, wir haben gelernt später. Das mit mir oder mit anderen. Später vielleicht sagen, abholen ein bisschen. Und einer sagt, Hamashu Toyem sein, ich gehe in die Keulel. Bis noch Minche. Minche bedarf ich wenn ein Sieger, ich bin Minche. Halb noch eins gekommen ist du. Und nicht die Essen, ich bin gerät. Vielleicht gehen es, vielleicht auch nicht zu essen. Ob nicht, vielleicht einfach nach Gemorgen, manchmal sein lernen weiter. Und hat kämen nicht gegessen Mittag, die Mama hat nicht mitgegessen mit ihm zusammen. Hat gewartet dafür, bis sie sitzen und essen mit ihm. Später vielleicht das gehen sich abholen, vielleicht verrufen Berg um 4 Segel und gehen in Keule, jene Jahr vielleicht noch gehen in Keule noch Mittag gehen. Und bei Nacht kommen noch Maigi und bei Nacht hat Marktbild gewesen essen mit die Mami. 2-mal am Tag hat Marktbild gewesen, heute will aber erst noch mit ihr zusammen. Nicht, Esther nicht. Später hat gelernt, bis alle versegeln. Der Versieger ist gar nicht schlafen. Das ist das Seder Ayoim באופן כללי.
ברגל הוא קיבל מכה מאוד מאוד חזקה.
למעשה mit dem Zibur hat kiemat nicht gehabt zu tun, bis das Teipler ist weg. Wenn das Teipler ist weg, hat verstanden, dass der Reulam darf oben etwas, also hat mir gesagt einmal, sagt, der Reulam darf etwas hin zu roben. Hat mir gesagt, wenn der Chazonisch ist weg, also wenn der Shabbos das gewinnt. Sie werden am Minion bei ihm Stub. Ist der andere Shabbos noch die Ptire, seine Menschen gekommen zum Davenen dort. Gegangen zum Teipler, sagen gut Shabbos. Chazonisch nicht da, geht man zum Teipler. Stapler gewonnen Chaos. Was willst du von mir? Ich bin nicht gechazonisch, lass mich auf. Mein Tat hat mir gesagt, ich habe gesehen, als Menschen sind manchmal zerbrochen. Sie darf am Ende sagen, so gut Shabbos, nicht mehr. Sie will gar nicht, sie meinen gar nicht. Sie darf am Mensch so gut Shabbos. Sagt, also das Stapler ist weg. Wir kommen zu mir, sagen gut Shabbos, aber gesagt gut Shabbos. Ich habe gesehen, ein Mensch ist zerbrochen. Und das Fahrrad um doch am Mine, gar mich kuscht die Hand. Das Teipler, wenn jemand hat ihm gewollt kuschen die Hand, hat er ihm angeschrien, hat sie gewinnt gefährlich. Mein Tate, los, kuscht. Ich habe mal gefragt, Rebbe, mai hai, hat mir gesagt, Chaim, ich kann auch nicht machen, anderen wie Kuach, zu kuschen, zu nicht kuschen, das ist mir mal 5 Minuten. Kusch, geh gesund, lass mir auf. So dann eine Sache gicher, eine Sache schneller, mit einer Kusch.
This began 3 decades and counting.
It doesn't even taste like socks. Really? The time is short. Doesn't this look German?
No, it's the echo coming through the machine now. Go. Yeah, no, I fixed it.
Because the time is short, we'll say a few ideas over here on Pashas Parah. First thing I saw on the invite mentioned of Chaim, so 23 Yechiv Rashbam, everyone knew that address. The same idea that I saw in the Sefer Derech Sicha of Chaim. It wasn't the Sefer that he wrote, but it were ideas that he had said over in conversation, and they were put into print. He writes on Parshas Shmini, he says one of the simonim of a kosher animal is that it chews its cud. The Rashi writes, Lashon Rashi is Mala umakia ha'oichu mime'eha umachzeres oisei l'tech pia tatshe l'tachnei adeh. So he says that what happens, food goes down, it goes into the first stomach, then it brings it up, chews it again, goes back down to the second stomach, chews back and forth, back and forth. Says Reb Chaim, he says this is for a tahira, for a Torah animal. The symbol of tahara is when you're willing to go ahead and not be lazy, to do something over and over and over again till it's complete. He says that you can go and you can just swallow, the nourishment is there. He says, or you can take it in, chew it over and over again till it's fine, then you swallow it. So he says that's the symbol. The simon of Avodas Hashem, when a person is not lazy about the way he does something, just to do it and be over with it. Yetzayin Baruch Betrani, so that's not tahara. That might be accomplishing, but it's not tahara. It's not our job. Keep on working over and over again to be malu machzira. You find by the Korban Pesach, it was brought. The Gemara tells us it was brought in 3 groups. Gimel Katan, 3 groups. The third group, the Gemara in Pshach and Daf Samachet tells us about the third group, was known as the Kato Atzlanim. Correct, Reb Chaim, 1 second. Kato Atzlanim means the group of lazy ones. The word lazy, the halacha is you need 3 groups. Someone's got to be the third group. Says Reb Chaim, yeah, but not you. Let it be somebody else. The fact that you ended up being the last group, that's atzlus. So he says that was the halacha, 3 groups, but still it's atzlus. Zrizus, the sign of tahara is that you're willing to do something over and over again, not be lazy about it. Not only that, but to do things, there's reasons with alacrity. To go over and over and over and over again. That was Reb Chaim. That's everybody knows about Reb Chaim, the way he chazed over. I mean, he learned it already. Shoin, move on. Next thing. Well, there was no next thing. He finished everything. But over and over and over again, that was the chazar. And then in Pashas Parah, we find that part of the tahara was that it was completely burnt down to ashes. The parah had to be completely burnt, every last drop to ashes. You take the ashes, it's sprinkled on the tamei person, transforming them into Torah people. Back in 9/11, there was a bumper sticker that made it out. It was a famous bumper sticker. It said that all gave some, but some gave all. All gave some. Everyone gave some. Everyone did something. But there were some people that gave everything. In order to that was a bumper sticker that was there for the first responders. That's what it was there for the Solo or whatever. In order to come to Tahara, to be Matara Tame person, the Parah Aduma has to be given all. All of it has to be given. If a person wants true Tahara, it can only work if you're willing to go over and over and over again, not be lazy, and give it your all. Those are three ideas over here that we find over here. That's Avodas HaKodesh. Okay, and that's a gedank, in der Sicha, what you think about what Rav Chaim was, that was an idea. Okay, let's move on into the Parshas itself, the Parsha of Parshas Parah. So it's the third installment of the Dalet Parshas. We have first Shkalim, then Zohar, then we have Parshas Parah, and then the third one is Parshas Chodesh. We have Hafsaka also, correct, yeah. And the reason, by the way, you know what the reason for Hafsaka is. Everything Revach to give space, and Parsha LeParsha, which means what's the purpose of space? To stop and think, to absorb, not just that we're going through the calendar, but calendar should hopefully go through us a little bit. So it's the third installment. So Rashi and Maseches Chagiga asked the following question. What's the order? The order should have been first Parshas Chodesh, because that was Rosh Chodesh Nisan, and then afterwards should have been Parshas Parah, because that was on Beis Nisan, right? The Mishkan came on Rosh Chodesh Nisan, and then afterwards was Parshas Parah, came right after that. That's the kasha that Rashi asks, and Rashi answers with the following words. He says, this is the Seder of Tarosim Shel Yisrael. Doesn't really say what that means. This is the order of the purity of Klal Yisrael. What does that mean? So there's different pshat than what Rashi means, but perhaps there's a pshat like this. The Vilna Gaon says famously that when we daven on Shabbos, we say, everyone knows it because either because of davening or at least because of the song, but we know it. So there's four levels. Afterwards we say Limaisa Mashiach, and then afterwards the fourth one is Tchias HaMeis. So there's four levels. Olam Hazeh, Olam Haba, Limaisa Mashiach, and Tchias HaMeis. So the Vilna Gaon writes that the first one, Olam Hazeh, that is Parshas Shkalim. We deal with money in this world, so that's the shkolim, the geld. That's this world. That's Olam Hazeh. Parshas Zohar is Olam Haba, because Mamash Olam Haba, you get rid of Amalek. That's Olam Haba. And then the third level is Parshas Parah, it's Mashiach, because there's going to be Tahara in the world. Right? So Mashiach is the one that brings the Tahara to the world. And then, of course, there's Parshas Chodesh, which is Tchias HaMeisim, because Chodesh is renewal. Because HaMeisim is when, after a person dies, is the renewal of bringing him back to the world. So, don't kid yourself. The similarities were one after another. I'm saying, so many times you find, I say words from the Baal Shem. Someone shows it to me in the Vilna Gaon. So it goes back and forth. A lot of similarities. Sorry?
You didn't find the opposite.
Sure you do.
From the Vilna Gaon to you come to the Baal Shem Tov?
Sure, same thing. Oh, yeah. Same thing. I'll show you a nice word in Parshas Zayis HaBracha. Exactly. Okay. Also, the whole Nefesh HaChaim. How similar is Nefesh HaChaim to Tanya?
I know Nefesh HaChaim. I don't know Tanya too.
You'll go through, the similarities are incredible. Rav Dessler goes through a lot of that. Okay, so could be this order without going through the whole order, but basically what do you see from here? You see that in order to get to a renewal, first you have to go through the Tahara. So first comes Mashiach, which is the world of Tahara, and then only afterwards can come Tchias HaMeisim, which is the world of renewal. So that could be Pshat and Rashi, where Rashi says that first you needed to have Parshas Parah, and then only afterwards would be Parshas Chodesh. There's a very nice Chassam Sefer that discusses the Parah Aduma. So he explains why is it the Parah Aduma is mechaper. What's a mechaper? First, Rashi tells us that Yaveh Aim, The mother's going to come and it's going to clean up for the child. So we had, the child was the egel, the chet egel, and the mother is the Parah Aduma. So Parah Aduma is mechaper for the chet egel. Chaim Sofer explains why is it that it's a kapara. So he says very nicely. He says that Klal Yisrael said Nasa v'nishma. When we said Nasa v'nishma, what happened? We got two crowns. The crowns. Nasa v'nishma was an action of us going ahead and saying, I don't understand the thing, but I'm going to do it even if I don't understand. I'll do it afterwards. Could be I'll understand, could be I won't. But I'm just going to do it. When did we lose the crowns? So Moshe Rabbeinu went upstairs. What's going on? Where is he? And because he was late, Vayaram ki boishish Moshe Lavid, they saw he was delayed in coming. When that happened, we started having questions. Our Amunah was hit. We were wondering what's going on, and because we couldn't comprehend what was going on, so we kind of fell down. We did the Chet Egel as a result of not understanding. But a second ago, Nasa v'nishma meant I don't understand. I'm willing to do it. So how is it that you go from not understanding, suddenly I need to understand if I don't understand something's wrong? So because of that, says Chaim Sofer, they lost the two ksarim when they did the Chet Egel. Now, what's the kapara of that? The ultimate level of chayk. What's the chayk? Is the Parah Aduma. That's the highest level of the chayk. So to be mechaper for not understanding, we give you for doing an aver because I didn't understand. We give you back a mitzvah, which is the highest level of the chayk. That's the prototypical chayk is the Parah Aduma. It's mechaper. The Gemara in Kiddushin and Avodah Zarah say in Gemara both places tells us the story of Dam ben Asina. So what was the story of Dam ben Asina? They were looking for a stone for the ephod, and they went and they heard that this guy, Dam ben Asina, he has it in his house. They came to him, and he says, "Sure, I have it." He's all excited to make the sale. He goes, let me just get the key. He looks for the key. It's under his father's pillow while his father was sleeping. Sorry, I can't wake up my father. All this money, can't wake it, but we'll pay anything, can't wake him up. So they leave there empty-handed. And the next year, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave him a schar, a reward, that he gets a Parah Aduma, which is born to his herd. And now this is something he can charge anything for it. But what happened was, because the Chacham, they heard that he had it, they went for it, they'll pay him anything. He says, no, just pay me what I would have gotten from the gem. That was it. And the shaila is, why is it that the schar, the reward that he had for the kibbut avayim that he did, why was it the Parah Aduma? What shaykhs? What's the connection? So says Chaim Sofer beautifully. He says that first of all, he honored his father. So that's a child honoring the generation on top. So what's the reward? The Parah Aduma was what? That's the mother coming and taking care of the child. So you see what happened? It's the reverse. He did it this way. He honored his father, so the reward would be back that a father would honor or a mother would honor a child. That's the first idea he says. And the second idea that he says is that
about Parah Aduma, what means going down?
No, Parah Aduma. Rashi says that it's the mother is mechaper for the child, for the egel. And the second idea he says is that kibbut avayim is a mitzvah that even a guy understands. Even a guy he understands you have to give cover to your parents. He understands that. So he does a mitzvah that he understands. So Hashem gives him back what? The Parah Aduma, which is something for a chayk, which we don't understand. Right? Again, you're doing it, you understand. Hashem gives you back that you don't understand. Why? Says Chaim Sofer to tell us that we think it's all about understanding, but it's nothing to do with that. Even the things that you think you understand, you don't understand. That's what's given back over there. The reward is given something that we don't understand. Just one last thing to point out that the Shiva Gifts used to always say that you look at a chayk, right? So a chayk, something we don't understand whatsoever, and yet the Rambam is busy giving us reasons for Tamura and for many different things that are chukim that we don't understand. Why is the Rambam giving us a reason? And in fact, Gift, he says over here by a Parah, Rashi tells us there's a reason, it's not a reason. Which one is it? If it's a chayk, he says that the Rambam is teaching us that there might be reasons that are there, and we should strive to give reasons. But we have to understand that ultimately The main thing is it is a chayk, whether I understand it or not. Whatever it is, it's a chayk, and even if I don't understand it. The reasons are just, so Gifty used to say, if you look in Sefer Chinuch, it says always mitame ha-mitzvah. What's the word tam? Tam means a reason. Tam also means a taste. He says, Chazal are giving you a taste because it's a geschmack. A geschmack means it's a taste. You're able to have a taste for it, but it's nothing more than that. Ultimately, why am I doing it? Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu told me to do it, whether I understand it or not. And once a person understands that's how a chayk works, so now you come back to Tumas Meis. Tumas Meis is something that we don't begin to understand. The Tumas Meis connects to a Parah. Because ultimately, it's not about understanding. When a person looks at Tzadik Viraloi and all these types of things, he has a bunch of questions. So this is the world of chayk. We can sometimes understand things, but it's not our job to understand in this world. Our job is to say that I might not know the Eibishter's plan. I know he has a plan. If I would understand everything that the Eibishter is doing, then how great could he be? If I understand every last thing that Hashem is doing, so that means that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is only as great as I am. He's only as smart as I am, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to understand. Once he's finite, if he's infinite, so I'll never understand, and that's good. But in the Goyish world, it's completely the opposite. They need to be able. They put Kaviyachol into a box, into a human, right? All these types of ideas. Why? Because they want to understand. And the second thing they can't understand, that's already a completely different world. Yes, it's exactly the opposite. The world of chayk is that I don't understand. I'm proud to say I don't understand. So the highest level of Munah is this idea of chayk. Second, that they started trying to understand things, that's when the Chet Ego happened.
Is there a reason?
Is what?
Does he really have a reason? Because if you say that he has a reason, the reason is greater than the point.
The Eibush has a reason for everything.
What does he need a reason?
He created the reason.
He created the reason.
Yeah.
So you can uncreate the
To give
reason
you
also.
lzchuso. He loves you.
By the way, I might not ever know the reason. Kiva, I might not ever find out the reason. I don't have to.
But what I'm saying is there are bunch of reason.
Sure he has a reason. He has a reason.
He doesn't have a reason.
He has no reason.
No, why do you need to know the reason?
I don't need to know the reason, but why need to know the reason? If the Rebbe Shalom has his cheshbonis, why does that give me any solace? Even
I'm sure we're good next week.
has no cheshbonis, that's also.
We won't know.
But that's at your
So
level.
what are you bringing again, a bin?
He's saying the Rebbe has a cheshbonis.
So I gotta keep part of the driveway.
No, much more.
Has no
You have
cheshbonis.
to get the car out of the garage too.
Because you think
The car in the garage, we gotta get it out on Monday. But let me tell you,
It's a funny conversation because
Monday or Tuesday.
first of all, I don't have to know what the reason is, right?
It's good to leave now. It's good to leave now before you get to the collector.
Very esoteric.
So does that mean that you're thinking that there is no chesed things that are done?
Speak like
Some happen.
The Rebbe Shalom is doing it just like he said for his close.
So that's the cheshbon.
So then I understand it. So then I understand it. No, you think there's something behind curtain number 2 that
So then your answer would be, Timonish Kantoivis. I don't want the schos, I don't want the mitzvah.
Yeah, that's what you say that. You're gonna put on the rest of
We sing the rest of the.
I find it hard.
You wanna see the rest? You guys wanna see the rest?
The rest is not so good. You should leave before the very end. At the end, they ask for money. So you leave, quit while you're ahead.
Such a Galiciana.
And then he dies.
What?
And then he dies.
No, not here. This is before he died. This
Okay.
wasn't put out after his death.
No.
Of tens of thousands of Yidden from across the world, flocking to 23 Rehov Rashbam to meet with the Gadol Hadar.
meiste Pachas ist der Seder Ayemi gewesen, also hat gelernt und gelernt und weiter gelernt und noch einmal gelernt. Das ist der meiste, am will dem Seder Ayemi ein Wort kann man sagen, hat gehalten in Lernen. Wenn ich verpassen gehabt, ist einer von den Tag von den Sheva-Woches, hat gesagt zu meinem Schwerer, kann ich kommen zum Sheva-Woches, weil hat Chayves. Mein Schwerer sehr, ich wusste was zu tun, was Chayves, fragt am Efter, kann ich helfen, ich weiß, treff mal Alwoe zu was. Mein Chayves kann keinem nicht helfen, ich darf lange gemorgen, ich sage, hasse nicht das, sie nimmt Zeit, ich darf aufzahlen meine Chayves, ich kann nicht kommen auf Sheva-Woches. Ich soll nicht kommen auf Sheva-Woches. Chayves der Pshat, Bavli, Yerushalmi, Rambam, Shulchan Aruch, Mishnah Berurah, Tosefta, Sifri, Sifro, Midrashim, Kitzer, כל התורה כולו. Mein Schwer gesagt Bescheid, der was hat solche Chayves, hat kein anderer Chayves von Geld. Einmal vielleicht das Schreiben Sforim gesehen. In das Sforim, was vielleicht schreiben, ich bin bei mir Avoide Kosche Mamisch. Menschen meinen, dass das Sforim seien Arois von Arbel, also ich noch gedacht, also ist Arois Asefen. Vielleicht Oreven, Achmutschen, auf jeder Aloch in Rambam, der Sefer der Ramune. Vielleicht Achmutschen, auf jeder Aloch in Rambam, 3 Tage noch anhand. Bei ihm 3 Tage, der Pshat, noch Kolatere Kulo 3 Tage. Ich gewinne kein Batole nicht gewinne. Stami gewinne Bechal noch ein Essen, jeden Tag, Mittag noch ein Essen, vielleicht auch fragen, was haben wir eigentlich gegessen, was HaRav dafür machen, was HaRav HaCohen dafür machen. Es ist Jumen, die ist super, ein Mensch ist, da weiß was ist Bechal. Es ist Brache geschehen, hat gewusst, weil er gesehen. Der Brache HaCohen, ich darf gedenken, euch ich vergesse von dem. Vielleicht einmal fragen, was HaRav haben wir gemacht, was haben wir gegessen, nein, was HaRav HaCohen dafür machen. Saratere kommt nicht so leicht. Sie kommt mit der Vanya von 90 Jahren, Vanya noch anhand, noch als Inglischer gewesen, Omil Betega, Yogia Betega, wo ich von Euro wie Yosef. Vielleicht vorher aufpassen, das von der Sprache, das vielleicht der Marktbild sein. Sie werden mit Simcha in Sprache vielleicht einmal fangen. Sandeko vielleicht erfahren mit Tum, das ist ein Masseres von Chaznish. Vielleicht fahren, Mamisch mit Don und Ad Be'er Sheva, von Zoffen bis Dorem, vielleicht ein Tag vielleicht herausfahren. Sie gewinnt Tag, was vielleicht herausfahren, Mamisch, von einem Eck von Eretz Yisrael zum zweiten Eck. Wir haben mal gesagt, die hat schlechteste Brises aber gehabt, 13 Brises aber gehabt. Mamisch mich schon nicht auf die Sachen, es ist genug Zeit, sie nicht. Und bei einer Zeit, die gewinnt Teier, und ich kann sagen, die Koeres, die gewinnt Malakul. Noch eine Sache, was ich gewinne Malakul bei ihm, ist Shidduchim. Er gewinne Schatchen. Bei ihm, mit Zabek sein Zivugim, bei ihm gewinne Mamisch a Dover Neuro. Ich denke, das Telefon hat nicht gehabt, käme nicht gehabt, hat immer so hat nicht. Vielleicht gehen, von einem Mensch, ein zweiter Mensch. Machen, reden, machen, Schuhe machen. Sie gewinne Mamisch bei ihm, aber das Sakoidisch Mamisch.
Jetzt ist aus Schuhe wie Israel. שם תמונות של דוד יונסון.
בלי כיפה ראיתי שם. שערות גדולות. Zweimal in Leben hat gehabt ein Telefon. Einmal gewinnt die Pchires Pnimies in Agudas Israel. Und einmal hat ihm gesagt, hat geschrieben einen Brief, hat ihm gesagt, als mein Tate hat Kass auf ihm, man hat gemusst bezahlt an der Minion. Ich bin scheich. Ein Brief ist getreten. Ich muss gerade nach dem Telefon. Zweite Mal, ich bin mit meinem Bruder, ich bin in Amerika für Operation für die Augen. Ist noch dem, mein Tate hat ihm gesagt, ich weiß auch, voll schlimm, jetzt war es echt auf dem Telefon.
גם חשבון ביטחון. גם אם זה חשבון ביטחון. תוציאו את הפס. תוציאו את הפס. הרב אוהב לראות את הפס.
Very close to Rav Chaim's heart is Yeshivas Tiferes Zion, which opened in 1936.
Die Yeshiva ist Yassid geworden, Schnas Tov Reish Tzadik Vov. Der Yassid gewesen Rabbi Yaakov Schneidmann und Al-Pio Yeroas Chazonish. Und mit der Zeit versteht sich, die Yeshiva geworden größer. Es sind kommen Kinder vom Nebrak, von anderen Plätzen, von Jerusalem. Mein Tate dort gelernt. habe ein bisschen Karelis dort gelernt, Lavdil mit Chaim, Chaim Grainom dort gelernt. Ich habe nicht gewöhnt die Tate von der Yeshiva. Mama, jeder sagt, kol adobar akoshe yevi uneilov, muss ich gewöhnt, ob es eine schwere Sache, eine Scheile, eine Achroe, eine Meise, alles mir gewöhnt zu ihm.
The Chazon Ish was Nasi of the yeshiva and went there from time to test the Bacharim. In 1995, after the passing of Rav Yaakov Schneidman, Rav Shlomo Kanievsky became the Rosh Yeshiva. For years, Rav Shach served as the Nasi of the yeshiva. Today, Rav Chaim Kanievsky fills that post. Several years after assuming the role of Rosh Yeshiva, Rav Shlomo Kanievsky opened Yeshivas Kiryas Melech, a base medrash for post-high school Bacharim. The yeshiva flourished, and today, hundreds of Bacharim study there. Tiferes Tzion occupies a special place in Rav Chaim Kanievsky's heart because it was established by his uncle, the Chazon Ish. Today, the yeshiva is thriving, with hundreds of Bacharim and Yungalite learning with his lahavas. However, the future of the yeshiva is at stake. Both Tiferes Tzion and Kiryas Melech are in danger of closing down due to heavy debts. Up until now, the Rosh Yeshiva, Rav Shlomo Kanievsky, has shouldered the massive financial burden of the yeshiva's budget. Now, he needs our help.
Die Yeshiva, Baruch Hashem, gelernt, mishtaik, Baruch Hashem, aber die Chibes ist über den Kopf und mit davon Hilfe, mit davon Siyata Dishmaya, mit davon Menschen, was sich unternehmen. Und Be'ezrat Hashem ist Baruch, mit Geist Siyata Dishmaya hoffen wir, dass der Rebbe helfen, wird es klar sein. Nicht wer weiß, was es sein. Shmaryahu.
Powerful letters have been written by leading Gedolim from Eretz Yisrael and America, calling on Yidden all over the world to take part in this great mitzvah of saving Tiferes Tzion and Kiryas Melech. Rav Chaim himself has written a rare letter requesting that Yidden from across the globe come to his son's aid. Rav Chaim emphasizes that Rav Shlomo's salvation is his salvation, and Rav Shlomo's Yeshua is his Yeshua, adding that he will be an emissary in the future on behalf of those who contribute to this effort.
Der Tat hat sich sehr untergenommen von dem, viele geschrieben, aber was ihm gezwungen ist, war am Fußem, Shloike Darko, Imam Yosef, Migidro, Mikelo, sie wie alle Jahren die Yeshiva gewinnen, Teier bei ihm, nicht weil sein Sohn dort noch aus Shiva, sondern Cheshm bei ihm, die Yeshiva gewinnt Teier bei ihm, weil der Chazon Ish hat mir erst gewinnt die Yeshiva. Sie gewinnt die Mischpoche, die ganze Mischpoche mitgelebt die Yeshiva.
This is our chance to help Rav Chaim. The Gadol Hador has requested that we come to his aid. We know what our answer must be.
Der lzchuso ist Kiryas Melech und Tiferes Tzion. Die Zvuluns, die wo sie helfen die Yeshiva, ist ein gewaltiger lzchuso. Was will sicher sein, die Zvuluns, was sollen helfen, die lzchuso von Kiryas Melech und Tiferes Tzion. Was will sie besonders sicher sein? Wir sollen losen, das ist in Ruchnies. Und was soll das sicher sein in Gashmies? Wie? Das ist in Hals.
Shlomi Feintuch. Hello.
Hello. Wait. How are you, Rav Yaakov?
Baruch Hashem, how are you?
Can I hear him now? Gonna make it louder. Mute. Now, can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
How are you?
Baruch Hashem.
So good to see you.
Likewise. I haven't seen you. I don't
It's
think
a-
I've seen you since we left.
I don't think so either. But I see your Ben Yochid almost every day.
Oh, in the office?
Yeah, we got
Oh,
the mincha, the mincha is going very well, Baruch Hashem, and he's the only one. For now, he's the only mincha.
What do you mean the only? Oh, the only one that has a minion there.
Correct. Yeah, Freeburg is the only
That's
one.
in the new offices.
In the new offices. So I have to leave the building. We used to be in the same building, but
Right.
now we're across the street. Yeah.
Is it nice there? What they got?
Yeah, it's a little bit more modern than what they had. It was very old fashioned, the old one. So it's a little more sleeker. But we don't really go. The way it works is that the elevator walks right into the boardroom. So you don't get to see the whole offices.
Oh, I see. So there's no lobby there.
Correct. There's no reception. It's nothing. Just you just walk right in.
So anybody can walk in there, you mean?
No, because it's just anybody can walk into the then it's all to get anywhere besides the boardroom is all locked up with key passes. For us, it works out great.
And that's where you daven.
That's right, down mincha every single day.
Mm-hmm.
With
Okay.
Troyim.
So he hasn't been here. He's maybe coming for the first days. He hasn't been here since we left.
Wow. Well, I think he mentioned that to me. I was telling you that we've got some great reports, especially from the Rav. He was telling us about your house. I can't remember what he spoke, but he told us all about your house and how beautiful it was. And
Right.
so I was telling Effie this, and he goes, "Yeah, everybody see my parents' house except for me."
Right. Right.
Hashem.
Yeah.
Hashem.
This was all Hashem's doing. It had nothing to do with it. Everything was planned by Hashem. We just let it happen.
You're very. It couldn't have happened to better people. For us,
I
we
don't
miss
know.
you, but I'm glad that you have your daughters with you and the Eineklach.
Yeah, it's amazing. Baruch
Very
Hashem.
special. Very special.
It
And I
is.
heard you met my son recently at a Vart in Muncie. His sister-in-law is marrying a Führer.
I don't
You may
remember
not
that.
remember. Yeah, it's been a couple of months now. The chasana is going to be right after Pesach.
So you're going to be. Who is this? Your son?
My son's wife's sister is marrying a boy from Muncie.
So you'll be coming.
The chasana is in Lakewood, so I won't be coming to Muncie. And it just so happens that the chasana is on the night of my father's yahrzeit, so I won't be going to the chasana either. But I'm going to go in anyway. We're going in anyway. So, but I haven't been to Muncie in who knows how long. And if I was, I'd be knocking on your door. That's for sure.
Okay, so we'll see you in Mitzvah Hashem.
Emir Hashem, hopefully. Be'ezras Hashem.
Yaakov Hertzog.
Come say hello.
Oh,
Shai
Shai.
wants to say hello.
Shai
You know
Hashem.
how many hours you're tuned in? You've been tuned in since 5 o'clock.
Come here, come in the camera.
5
Come this
o'clock.
way.
The camera, no?
No,
No,
yeah,
the
right
camera's
here.
over here. This one here.
That's the camera.
Well, he could see you over
you can
there
see
on the
me.
family on the large camera, right? You see the large camera, Yanko?
Yeah, but it's harder to see. Hey, it's Shia.
I see there's 3 pictures here. 3. One is where you on, and one I'm on, and one is the shul below.
Yeah, you can't see the
Yeah, you can. It's
I
just-
know you can't, but you can't see the people in the large.
No,
I
no,
can,
you
I
don't.
can. You sat at the table there.
Yeah.
By the
We're in
bimmer.
the
You're by
kitchen.
the bimmer there.
Right.
We're in the kitchen.
I'm in the kitchen, yeah.
It's a nice fixture you have.
Chandelier, beautiful
Okay,
chandelier.
if you
You're up on stage. Look at you, Yankel. There you are. You see? You're up on stage.
I'm
See
on the
how we
stage.
see it?
If you look
You're
at
on
the
the stage.
fixture, if you look at the fixture, next to the fixture, you'll see the sukkah.
He's right.
Right.
See the,
Yeah, you can see the
sukkah on this
this-
thing?
You
yeah.
see the schach, you see the schach at the bottom?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's two of those. There's two.
wow.
That's one, and then there's one on the other side too.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Evaldi.
Well, the
Yeah.
Amazing.
picture, that's the actual
A
sukkah.
built-in sukkah.
Built-in
Yeah,
sukkah.
built-in sukkah. Wow.
And a
Well,
mikveh.
the Rav, we have a deck. We have a deck, and I brought the sukkah from Toronto. But when the Rav was here, he said you don't have to put up the sukkah. This is good enough because we were by the children anyway. So
Wow, amazing.
And you have a beautiful sukkah. I remember that sukkah you bought. Yeah, big,
Right.
beautiful sukkah.
right. So we have it, but it's like we didn't put it up. That's all.
Right.
We were by the kids the whole time, and they have beautiful sukkahs. So you know, yeah, it's it's. So what? Who? Do you have the Shia tonight?
We had it already.